Hi and welcome back. Is there any greater sauce to go with chips than ketchup?
No! Mango.
One of the best things in life. Chips and ketchup. So it's time to take the humble ketchup and elevate it to another level. That's right, we're gonna lacto ferment the tomatoes, and not only that, we're gonna add fresh mango to give it a nice freshness as well. And the mangoes are gonna ferment with the tomatoes over 2 days, maybe 3, a bit cold outside, and then we're gonna blend that up, and then we're gonna fry off some fresh chips and taste that ketchup. Here we go, lacto fermented ketchup.
Okay, let's get the ball rolling. We're going to start off by weighing out 77 millilitres of cold water. Next up, we're going to weigh out 44 grams of granulated sugar. And we're just going to dissolve this on a warm heat on the stove. Don't allow it to boil or simmer, just dissolve the sugar and then allow it to cool. Now for the fermentation jar, I got these online, weren't too expensive, and they come with a screw top lid just like this, a flat rubber teat with a little nipple on the end to let the air out. This is really handy. It means we don't have to burp the jar every day and the jar won't explode, and the CO2 gas being released just comes out the little hole at the top, just up there, just like that. Now grab a ceramic or glass bowl. Metal doesn't work as it reacts with the ketchup, and weigh out 340 grams of tomato puree. Next, take a fresh ripe mango and we're going to top and tail that. Grab a speed peeler, the right way around, and then we're going to take all the skin off the outside of the mango. Topping and tailing it helps the speed peeler go into the mango and exit nicely. We're going to go all the way around to expose all that yellow flesh of the mango. To take the flesh off a mango stone, you have 2 big flat sides and 2 short sides. It's a bit like shaving off the meat from Mr. Grumpy. Nice rectangular stone, 2 flat sides. Slide your knife down one side just like this. Take one side off, then repeat on the other side. Take the little side bits off, get any other bits off you can, and then suck the stone dry. Now it's time to slice and dice the mango. Cutting it nice and small, this will help the good bacteria, acids and sugars break down the mango. And now we're going to weigh out 200 grams of the mango flesh. You can put that straight on top of your tomato puree. Next, weigh out 5 grams of Moreton salt or any other kosher salt. Next, we're going to weigh out 44 millilitres of lacto ferment liquid from a previous ferment. And now we're going to add 60 millilitres of raw apple cider vinegar. This is going to add the sharpness and the acid to the ketchup. And now it's time to add our sugar syrup made earlier. I should have got a bigger bowl. This is getting pretty close to the top. This sugar syrup is going to add some sweetness. The sugar syrup is also going to give the ketchup that nice classic glaze, as well as balancing out the vinegar. Now, give it a good mix. Get all those ingredients working together, and now we're going to add it to the fermentation jar. So once thoroughly mixed, let's spoon it carefully into the fermentation jar. This recipe fills the jar right to the top, which is pretty handy. Screw the lid on, make sure your rubber nipple is in place. And when pickling, preserving or fermenting, it's a really good habit to label up your jars so you know when you made it, how old it is and what it is. Okay, the label is going on, looking pretty. This is going to go in a cupboard and be there for 2 or 3 days till we see some small bubbles appear. And that's when we know it's ready to go. Okay, into the cupboard to let the lacto fermentation do its job. 2 days later, we have got some small bubbles appearing. I don't know if you can see them here. So no cooking here. This is a raw recipe, so we're just going to unscrew the lid, take the lid off, and we're going to pour the contents of this straight into a liquidizer. It already smells delicious. How delicious? Double delicious. Now, the final ingredients going in, we're going to add 140 grams of mango chutney. This is going to help with the sweet and sour element of the ketchup, and it's also going to add another layer of mango flavour into the sauce to give it a little bit of complexity and a little bit of diversity with the flavour of the ketchup. Okay, this is going to go in the liquidizer on speed 9, the maximum speed, for 2 minutes. This should guarantee a nice smooth ketchup. If you've got some lumps, you can always sieve it off. But speed 9, 2 minutes, always does the job for me. It wants to be nice and smooth. Let's have a sneak peek, see what's going on. Oh yes, that is looking good. And there we have it. Without too much effort, you've made your own homemade ketchup and entered the world of lacto fermentation, the flavour giver. I've got a disposable piping bag here, which we're going to store the ketchup in. Handy chef tip number 1, I've got a large jam jar here. I'm going to put the piping bag into the top of the jam jar, fold the top over, leaving my hands free to fill it up. And this makes it nice and easy to pour in the ketchup. Keeping the piping bag nice and tidy, just pour it in just like this. No mess. And then we're just going to fill the piping bag up to the top of the jam jar. Comme ça. And now we're just going to lift the piping bag out of the jam jar and twist it round at the top. Nice, clean, tidy piping bag. Now give it a twist. And for me, tight is right. Nice, clean, tidy piping bag is my favourite way to get a filling into a piping bag with no mess. And now chef's tip number 2, we're just going to take a piece of butcher's string, place the piping bag straight on top, just where you twisted it around, and then we're going to tie a knot with the string around the twisted piping bag, and this stops all the filling coming out in the fridge or wire piping.
Okay, let's pop that ketchup in the fridge for 10 to 20 minutes while it's cooled down so it's nice and cold while I whip some chips up. And I don't think you can beat that combination of really hot chips and really cold ketchup. It's one of my favourite sensations. Hot and cold food all at once in your mouth. So the ketchup's cooling down, so let's whip up some chips.
Here we go. I'm taking 2 medium-sized potatoes. Safety first, we're going to take a little slice of potato off the bottom of the potato. This is going to stop the potato rolling around when we cut it into chips. If you've seen some of my other videos, you probably know this already. Now, we are going to cut the potato into nice, even-sized slabs, and this is going to form our chips. Once we've cut the potato into slabs, we're going to lay the slab down on the chopping board, and we're going to slice each slab into evenly sized chips. This is going to help the potato and the chip cook evenly. Well, apart from these little ones, I always put these in because I like a little crispy side chip. And now for a little chip shop tip. We are going to put the chips into a saucepan. The reason for this, once the chips go in the saucepan, we're going to try and get the starch off them. This is going to stop them sticking in the fryer. So wash the chips off in cold water and rinse them off. Once they're rinsed off, refill with cold water, and we're going to allow those to sit for 10 minutes. Like I said, this is going to help remove the starch from the potato, which causes chips and potatoes to stick in the fryer. When the clock hits 0, we're going to strain that water off and then refill it back full of cold water, season it with salt. Now, this is going to go on the stove on a simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes until the chips are nice and soft. Keep an eye on them. If they overcook, they will fall to pieces, so get a little knife. Just keep prodding it until the knife slides out nice and easily. And then we're going to very, very carefully, because they're nice and soft, strain those chips off in a sieve, removing all of the water. Water and oil obviously do not go together. Now we're going to allow those chips to steam probably for another 10 to 15 minutes. That steam is dehydrating the potato. Oh, a little steamy facial. Okay, stop that silliness. Let's fry the chips. The fryer is set at 180 degrees and we're going to fry these for about 5 to 6 minutes. As always, don't overload the basket. Just gently lower the chips in and keep them frying until they're nice and golden brown. Give them a little shake, just make sure they're not stuck together, and then back in the fryer until they're cooked. Once they're nice and golden brown, you think they're ready, just lift them out and drain off some of that oil. Tipping the basket helps the oil drain off. Giving them a little check, making sure they're nice and crispy. These skin on fries kind of curl up at the side like a roast potato. That's why I love them. Now we're going to tip the chips into a nice clean bowl and it's time to season them. At the chip shop, I've got a secret seasoning with 11 ingredients. I'll share this with you soon. This seasoning makes chips deliciously addictive. Give them a toss to get all that seasoning all over the chips, and then they're ready to test with our ketchup. Look at that nicely seasoned, tasty chip. Oh, chips. Chips are so good. And like I said, if you keep the skin on, you get these nice little crispy roast potato bits. Now the ketchup is nice and cold, we're going to decant it into a little jar. Perfect for dipping our chips in. I can't explain how satisfying making your own ketchup is. Look at that glaze, beautiful. Right, the crispy chip is going in. That skin is dipping up all the sauce. It's time to taste.
Not available in the shops, so you have to save this video. Recipe will be in the description as always. Make it at home, super simple, super easy. Another great introduction into lacto fermentation. Along with the chip and the magic seasoning, it's an absolute winner. Chip shop ketchup. That's it. What did you think? Let me know in the comments as always. Thank you so much for everyone who watched up until this point, and thank you if you subscribed. If you haven't subscribed already, you know the score. Ping, ping, ping. Tap that button down there and subscribe to the channel. Much appreciated. If you want to make the ultimate chip shop curry sauce, then I will see you in this video next. That's Gary out. See you in the next video. Mmm.